What is up? Welcome back to the Sleuth Intuition channel. I'm your host, Patrick Vallejos. My friends call me Sleuth. Today, what you can expect from the live stream is we're going to go over the Athena Strand case. We're going to look at the Charles Dewey case. The case we left out from the last Sleuth crew check-in was the cult leader. Very interesting. An unsolved murder, Daniel Mesas. This crazy Detroit, Michigan explosion. We'll touch on the Lauren Spear case. What else we got? San Antonio PD looking for two suspects. One has been apprehended. Two are still out there. We'll take a look at that. And also, we'll kind of talk a little bit about what's going on with the members meeting tomorrow and everything in between. What's up, Frank? Red Queen, Maria Torres, Big Bird, Marbles, Hathers, Hiawatha. Hard to find your second channel. Have to go to your page, then scroll down, featured, then you can click on it. Yeah, I mean, it shouldn't come up in search. Nothing special going on with that channel. We don't do politics, religion, and all. There's a lot of things we don't do on this channel. All the things that we don't do here, we might do over there. What's going on, caricature? Started my garden this week. Just the stuff you needed to make pico de gallo and some eggplants. Yum. Yeah, the focus of my garden this year is all tomatoes. Got like 4 different kinds of tomatoes and peppers. And then growing underneath all of those, we're going to have like herbs and spices, onions, carrots, things like that. But I have pretty much every herb and spice planted throughout the garden. And also some cosmos and some flowers here and there. What's up, Nana? Nana 72. Brad from Outside the Grid. How you doing? Had to grab me some of that fried apple pie. Damn. Sounds yummy. I went with the vape this time. Let's see what Northern Lights. Doing me well. Used to shop for THC now. Yep, that's how you do it. Terps. Or both. But yeah, you're on the right track for sure. What's up, Metal? Jamie, how you doing? What'd you guys think about my Richard Allen comparison to the Bridge Guy video today? Pretty interesting, right? What's up, Mesra? Yeah, this channel is growing. You know, and not too fast either. Like it's growing with substance. The people who are supporting the channel are really supporters, not looky-loos, you know, that just never unsubscribed. So I'm happy about that. What's going on, D? Welcome in. Sparky, what's going on? Good evening, She Warrior. Jim's mom, 2015. Tuesday is going well. Thank you. What's up, Red Queen? Hathers Mirror. Who am I missing? Sensei, what up? Oh man, these lights are bugging my eyes today. This is my allergy season. Oh well. I'll just let them bug out. Maybe I can turn this light down. Oh yeah, that helps a little bit. Yep, Jamie, hopefully, you want to make sure they get it right though. But I definitely know what you're coming from. What's up, Amelia? Jill, welcome in. Horihito. Frank says chicken wings and Pacers basketball while I'm watching and listening here. Well, recently I've been looking into the Delphi murders and trying to understand what Richard Allen might have been thinking. More and more I see a fantasy-driven killer, if it's him. And instantly it reminded me of the Athena Strand case. Or better yet, I was reminded of the Athena Strand case actually by one of my members. And it put me right there. And it got me wondering, was this guy fantasizing about this? And if you guys don't know anything about Athena's case, it didn't happen too long ago. It was the delivery driver who kidnapped this young girl and killed her and dumped her not too far away. Very tragic case. Somebody you're, supposed to trust to come in and just quickly leave. But instead they have other plans. Question is, was it fantasy driven? Was it a trigger, or was it something he had kind of played over and over in his mind, the possibility or fantasizing about taking a small child and how he could get away with it on his, while delivering?
Missing 7-year-old girl. Late last night, we learned search crews found the body of little Athena Strand. Now, she was last seen just more than 48 hours earlier in the town of Paradise. That's in Wise County, west of Denton. Her entire community came together to find her, hoping for a different outcome. This is a difficult story, but here's what we know this morning. Police got a tip yesterday about Athena, and that, along with their own investigating, led them to 31-year-old Tanner Lynn Horner, the driver of that FedEx truck who was delivering a package to...
Yeah, look at this guy. He looks kind of strange, huh? And in a couple photos I have of him, he has his hat turned like that. Like, what is that? Is he trying to look young?
Athena's home. Now, he's now in custody, charged with abducting and killing the young girl.
What's up,
The sheriff's
Warrior?
office says he confessed and told them where to find the body. Horner is being held on a $1.5 million bond.
It was a monumental task.
Patricia?
And because of the cooperation, because of us working together, we were able to get the answers. Some of the answers were not the answers that we would have hoped that we would have gotten. It hurts our hearts to know that that child died. So much so that she is on her way now to the medical examiner's office. And there's a Texas Ranger in front of her, and there's a Texas Ranger behind her.
It's a nice thought. Let's welcome in Patricia Warner. Welcome in. She Warrior. My guy Tech Death. Good to see you, Karen. Welcome. V is in the building. Boston Christian. Don't jump up, don't scream, but there is an alien right beside your window. What are you talking about? Where?
Listen, I swear, me and my brother, man.
Sorry.
As you can imagine, the sheriff says Athena's family is angry and in utter disbelief. Now, this morning, FedEx shared this statement about the tragedy, saying, "Words cannot describe our shock and sorrow." The company offered condolences to the family and says it's cooperating fully with this investigation.
I think he was working with like a temp agency too. So he didn't work directly for them. I think they hired a third party. But man, imagine that happening to an employee of your company. Like, man, you would just you'd feel really guilty about hiring that person or that company, or like you didn't do enough, you know? The checks and balances, background checks and all that stuff. Or maybe there's nothing you can do. You got this guy driving around, you know, deep down inside, he's really just a psychopath, and he's fantasizing day in and day out. I wonder if that's what Richard Allen, the Delphi suspect, was doing, walking that trail, fantasizing about it. Trying to wrap my
FedEx
mind
driver
around
charged
it.
with murdering 7-year-old Athena Strand told investigators it all started with an accident. Hello, I'm Stevie.
It's a
here.
lie.
Hello, everybody. I'm Heather
It's a
Hayes.
bold-faced
Court
lie.
records show, they were released this afternoon, they show that the affidavit with Tanner Horner's confession, his version describes how an accident with his delivery van led to him killing the little girl. Fox 4's Dion Anglin has more now from the investigation. Dion.
Well, the new
Tell me
details
about it,
shed light
Hakers.
on the investigation and, sadly, allegedly, what happened to the 7-year-old girl. Now, this comes just after her mother and her attorney publicly vowed to hold accountable all determined responsible for her death. Pink ribbons and balloons mark the area where 7-year-old Athena Strand's body was discovered in the water just off County Road 4668 in Wise County. The suspect, Tanner Lynn Horner, guided Texas Rangers to the
Anything I
spot
like?
where court records say he confessed to dumping the child after
Now he tells a bullshit story. I don't buy this at all. But you be the judge.
killing her. The arrest affidavit lays out much more, including what happened at Athena's home when he arrived there to deliver a package. When he was backing up in his FedEx truck, he accidentally hit Athena with the truck, but she was not seriously injured. The defendant stated he panicked and put Athena in the van.
Right? They always try to kind of lessen their involvement. They tell a half truth. Like, I did it, but I didn't do it because I'm a sick pedophile. I did it because I panicked, right? In their mind, that's what normal people would do.
He went on to say when Athena told him she would tell her dad what happened, he strangled her with his bare hands in the back of the FedEx van. The records also explain why Athena's stepmother, who was home alone with her, was not immediately aware the child was outside. The stepmother was preparing
What's up,
dinner,
Big Bird?
and Athena was staying
Mother
in a
of Dragons,
converted
welcome in.
shed that served as the bedroom for her and her step.
Okay, let me run that back. I want to welcome in Mother of Dragons, Anything I Like, Big Bird 420. Think I got you, Boston Christian, Beth Gonzalez, Daily Survivor, True Crime with Microwave. What up? Welcome in, my friend. Anna, welcome. Good to see you. Stephanie, welcome. Wanda, good to see you. Justice, welcome in. Brian Emery. Frederica, welcome. GP, good to see you. What's up? Camaro. Cryptex in the building. Welcome in. Taco Fall. 517 Kells. Miranda, what's up?
Immediately aware
Welcome
the
in,
child
everybody.
was outside. The stepmother was preparing dinner, and Athena was staying in a converted shed that served as the bedroom for her.
So it sounds like they were renovating. Let me see. I think they have an image right here. So they were renovating in the main home. So her and her siblings were staying in a building that wasn't attached here. So I wonder if he witnessed this and saw the child kind of playing around that building and it's somewhat away from the home.
Was not immediately aware the child was outside. The stepmother was preparing dinner, and Athena was staying in a converted shed that served as
There
the
you go.
bedroom for her and her stepsister next to the main home that is under renovation. The records also tell us Horner worked for a FedEx contractor called Big Topspin.
There you go. Big Topspin. So FedEx contractor. So it wasn't FedEx. So, I mean, they better be careful on how they're working with these contractors like Big Topspin. I mean, are they checking on how they're screening their employees? What's the threshold there? And apparently they don't have video of him hitting her or backing up, so I believe he's lying about that. But they do have video evidence of her sitting in the van in his truck communicating with him. So he snatched her straight up.
And evidence from a video monitoring system inside the
Yep,
van
exactly, Miranda.
shows Athena was still alive
Temporary, I think.
after she was struck.
Still, what
the
the fuck?
driver and Athena inside the vehicle talking.
This is the package. It's the first time I'm seeing it.
Oh yeah, that's messed up. So you can't even trust the FedEx guy anymore? That's so crazy. Then we wonder how all these people go missing. There's no evidence. There's no this. There's no that. It's because it's just random people who are snatching up all of our missing folks. Grown women, grown men, children, boys and girls.
The release of information just hours after the girl's mother held a news conference with her attorney. They displayed the package Horner is believed to have delivered to the home, a Christmas gift of Barbie dolls meant for Athena.
It's
The
awful.
legal team is also conducting an independent investigation.
We will uncover every person who is responsible through their actions or inactions for the tragedy that happened.
I was robbed
What's up, Willow?
of watching her grow up by a man that everyone was supposed to be able to trust to do just one simple task: deliver a Christmas present and leave.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. You should be able to trust these folks to come and then get the F out. That's it. You don't need to be talking. You don't need to be making friends. You don't need to be small talking. I like these guys that show up with their loud music, their headphones in, vaping, throw the package down, take a photo, and they're out. You don't need anybody creeping around. Yep, that should be rule number 1. Kind of gives you like Summer Wells vibes, you know, how she was down in that basement with that creepy door. Might have one more video. And this right now, guys, if you're just joining us, we're looking at the Athena Strand case. And the question for you guys, was this a fantasy-driven crime? Is this something that he played over and over in his mind as he's driving up and down these streets? He's seeing families play. He's seeing Young children kind of straying away from their home thinking, wow, that kid should not be straying. Have you ever done that where you're driving, you're like, wow, where are their parents? You know, like, what is that little kid doing in the middle of the street or whatever? And you're looking around like, where are the parents? Is this guy going, I'm seeing this quite often. I could possibly get away with this. And is this what's going on with a lot of these other killers? Like, we don't need any grand conspiracy. What if they're just these fantasy driven folks who, right? They say, oh, well, it was worth it. And they go to prison, they're protected, and they're right back to the fantasy. I mean, they've been living in a prison anyway, right? They live all up in their head.
At the top of this newscast.
Tech Death says, are you doing call-ins? Yeah, if anybody wants to call in, we can do call-ins. If you want to talk about any one of these cases, let me know. But I do have a lot I want to go over today. Yeah, it's a very scary world, Willow, and it's the part that scares me is if you put a microscope on any one case, right? And expose the surrounding community, you'll see everything. You'll see all of the crime, you'll see the CSAM, you'll see the murders, you'll see the drugs. You'll see the prostitution, you'll see the corruption from law enforcement all the way up through the courts. Yeah, you put a microscope on any place in the United States or in the world, you're going to see the germs. You're going to see them. You know, we say, oh, well, Delphi or Georgia or Detroit, man, these places are so dangerous. Look at all the true crime that we cover in these locations. No, these are just certain places like Delphi, right? We have them under the microscope. But if you open your eyes, the same thing is right around your own neighborhood. All right, one more
County community
on this
grieving
case.
this morning in spite of a massive search launched in hopes of finding her alive. The body of 7-year-old Athena Strand was found last night. Kennedy Walker has been covering this story for us since the beginning. And Kennedy, certainly this is not news that anyone in Wise County or anywhere in North Texas wanted to hear.
Yeah, they need to, Red Queen.
No, it was not, Robbie. This is a very sad.
Hey, what's up, Richard? Welcome in, Richard Gartner, Lisa Branham. And there was one more that I missed. Nope, that's it, guys. Welcome in.
Into a 2-day search for that missing girl, Athena Strand. Police say that a FedEx driver kidnapped and killed that 7-year-old girl, and he is now in jail. I'll step out of the way so that you can see where he is being held. For the first time, we are hearing from Athena's mother. She took to social media shortly after news broke that her daughter was found dead after that exhaustive search. She said in part, "I cannot describe the pain and absolute anger that I feel. My princess was taken from me from a sick, cruel monster for absolutely no reason."
Absolutely no
Wise
reason.
County Sheriff Lane Aiken says a FedEx driver kidnapped and killed Athena shortly after she left home Wednesday evening. That man has been identified as 31-year-old Tanner Lynn Horner. He is being held at the Wise County Jail on charges of capital murder and aggravated kidnapping. Sheriff Aiken says this case is one of the toughest he's faced in his nearly 50-year career.
This community does not like losing our children.
Nobody
and
does.
we can see it because of all the people who came out and helped us throughout this ordeal.
What's up, Mevin?
Now, you just heard the sheriff there talking about how much this case meant to the community. Robbie, I was here from the beginning when hundreds of people came out to help search for this girl. Of course, this was not the outcome that anyone wanted. The sheriff also asked for everyone to keep Athena's family in their prayers as they are dealing with this devastating loss. The suspect, the man that has been accused of kidnapping and killing Athena, he is being held on a $1.5 million bond.
Right, and he's in a place where he was heading his entire life. It's just like who will be the victim for these folks when they finally decide that, hey, I'm ready to spend the rest of my life in prison. All right, it'll be worth it. Marbles with the scrub report, 103 in chat and only 50 likes. Don't be a scrub. Hit that like button. Delivery driver, FedEx driver, Brad. Hopefully you're not weaving in and out of traffic. Yeah, if you're just joining us, we were talking about Athena Strand. FedEx driver delivered a package to her home, kidnapped her, and killed her and left her body not far from her home. Why'd he do it? Was he thinking about it? Or did something trigger him? He's just a sick person and opportunistic. Or both. Fantasy mixed with opportunity. Is that something we can learn maybe even about these attacks that happen on trails? Can we expect that the perpetrators are constantly walking these trails? Do they need a fantasy time to let the fantasy? Do they need a timeline for the fantasy to play out? Is that a sign? Is that a signal that these folks frequent that area? Is that who we should be looking at in these cases? Who frequents these areas? Or would that be too easy? What's up, Tom? We have a large scale and extreme mental illness across this world. Yeah, that plays a big part too. It's all a big mess. What a mess. Willa says, we can't have deliveries to your home anymore. Can't trust anyone. Nope. Yeah, this case blew me away. You talk about being watched and tracked. It's like they are so intoxicated with death, lust, that nothing matters. Yeah, how does this happen? What is the recipe for this? Where you're a person who's able to hold and keep a job, a decent job. That's a pretty good job. And then you go on and do this. Like, how did this happen? I just don't understand. What is the recipe for that? Is it repetition, fantasy mixed with opportunity? I mean, if Richard Allen is a killer in the Delphi case, he doesn't even have any priors. He has like one speeding ticket or something. Is this something that lays dormant? And then a certain set of or a sequence of events takes place, like a recipe, right? Mix it all together and then boom. It's like the anarchist cookbook. Jill says he's following a sick fantasy he has thought about for some time. I think so too. Richard Allen may have been planning to put the girls in a car. They fought back. I don't know. I have a feeling that with the Delphi case, Richard Allen would hike those trails, would cross the bridge and go down that hill. Or even sometimes I think he would not cross the bridge or cross the bridge and come back and then take that trail that goes. I don't know if you guys watched this video You got Randy Gravett that takes this trail and then goes to the cemetery. But you also have Gray Hughes. He must have a badass like stabilizer on his camera or something, and it's a 3D or 360. I'm sorry, not 3D. 360 view, and he's walking this trail that goes directly to the crime scene. I mean, the trail walk goes through the crime scene. I have a feeling that Richard Allen would take that trail. When he went to the trails, that's where he went. He went down to that crime scene. And from the crime scene, if you walk up to the water's edge and look up, you can see the Monon High Bridge. So I'm sure him sitting in that crime scene with pure privacy, not once has he been bothered there. Never. Not a single, not even close. That is his spot. And from there, he can see young children walking across that bridge. Shit, maybe even Abby and Libby at some point. Or Libby and Kelsey, maybe. So is that a big part in what drives these killers? Are they creatures of repetition? And during this repetition, they generate a fantasy, or throughout that repetition, they build this fantasy, and it grows. And each day they say, "Oh, well, I can get a look how easy this is. What I would do if I did decide to do a crime like this. Look how easy I could get away. I'm in and out." It reminds me of what we've learned about truck drivers. Even though we've covered a lot of cases of truck drivers who have fallen victim to crime as well and unsolved murders, right? But we learn from the FBI the majority of unsolved crimes throughout the country along our highways and things like that, they believe, they stated the majority of their suspects that they have on file are all truck drivers. And the victims are all working girls, prostitutes. Right? Nobody's going to know they're missing, or if they are finally reported missing, it was expected that they would kind of come and go. So that's why you have killers using a job like a truck driver and targeting women like sex workers. Anna says crimes are driven by anger and desire for control. They are more angry. Yeah, there's definitely a deep-seated anger and hatred. I'm sure it has something to do with the killer or these folks, the way they were raised, right? Maybe they were abused or something. Jill says, "Hi GP, good to see you. Hope your mom is doing well." I agree. I hope you guys had a good day today. Or at least some good parts. What's going on, Charlotte? Squeaky Will's in the building. These people simply aren't wired like the rest of us. Yeah, wired, they're wired wrong. Many of them can hide it for years and years, but eventually it surfaces. Richard Allen is a prime example. Yeah, I feel like the only way Richard Allen is our guy is if he's had his own chance to be alone. If he's I feel like this is a fantasy driven crime, and he fits the profile, in my opinion. Take that for whatever it's worth, but I feel like he would have to have his own personal time, his own personal space, right? I think these killers need a chance to develop the fantasy before they take it to that next step, or before it triggers itself into existence, I guess. So I feel like that's a big part of the recipe. And we talked a lot about what was going on with Richard Allen. A lot of changes in 2016 for him. What's up, True Crime Fangirl? Miracle Hearts, welcome in. He claims he hit her with his truck and was scared. Yeah, that's bullshit. So he strangled her. But he has also said 3 children prior to this. Oh, so he has a record. See, I don't know much about his background. How did he get the job if that happened? Or did his victims come forward after this, before it, when it came high profile? Or when it became high profile, sorry. Oh my God, GP, I'm sorry. My prayers are with you. I'm sorry to hear that. That's horrible news. It's good to see that you were there for her. Good to see you, Phil Bond. Welcome in, my friend. Yeah, that's right, True Crime. It's a great video. I think it's titled From the Bridge to the Grave to the Cemetery. He's given me permission to show it. I've shown it a few times. But I don't have it primed up for you guys here. Yeah, by anger. Some kind of deep-rooted anger. Frustration. We learned from the BTK killer, every time he struck, there was something going on in his life. That's why I constantly talk about Richard Allen's 2016 and what was going on in his life. He lost his brother, which in turn was like a domino effect. Affected his wife. Right. Most likely gave him a lot of alone time, which was the recipe. His fantasy had already had time to cultivate itself, and he's convinced himself that he could get away with it. If he's a lone wolf attacker, completely convinced now that he could get away with this type of crime, maybe under the influence, alone, maybe even planned it out. Maybe he thought he would be able to be in and out of there, right? And then it turned into a nightmare. He thought he could go in there, strike, and get out. Thanks, GP. Yeah, I'm really sorry to hear what happened. We're here for you. Marginalized individuals. Why is the box of Barbies a strange hint of some sort? It's not. It's just kind of eerie. It's like he was there to deliver a gift for his victim, for his murder victim. That's super eerie and just strange. He's here to deliver the package to his victim. He doesn't know that. What are the odds of that? Good to see you, Cindy. Tracy, how are you? They came forward afterwards. Yeah, that's what I thought. That makes more sense. Like, how can you get this job unless the victims came forward afterwards? Thank you for clearing that up. That's what I figured. That makes the most sense, right? I've been asked by different women through the years what men in general think about these types of crimes. I explained that just about all the men I know were totally baffled by someone who would do this. It's completely baffling. It doesn't make any sense. Like, men, we're protectors, right? We walk into a room filled with women and children, and we're looking for a threat. You know, who's the threat? Is everybody secure? You know? Now these folks, they come in there and they say, well, who can I target? Who has the weak father? Who's the single mother and the teenager who's showing signs of problems or maybe even past abuse? You know, these predators, the ones who have come forward and kind of give us a peek into their world, tell us that they're the nice ones, right? Hey, oh, it looks like you need a night out, you and your husband. I'll watch the kids, right? They come like Lucifer, you know, presenting themselves as a being of light when really they're just a sleazy snake slithering in the grass, right? Taking advantage of your innocence. The old story, the frog and the scorpion, or the old woman and the viper, whichever you prefer. A lot of support for GP. Good job, guys. Keep that up if you can. It does help. Miracle says he wasn't working directly for FedEx. He worked for a company that filled in deliveries. Yeah, we had the name of it. I lost it. I'm sure I can find it quickly.
At the top of this newscast.
This devastating.
I think it might be on this other video. I meant to write it down. Did I? Big top spin. FedEx contractor is big top spin. So I wonder if they made a comment about it at all. Todd says Delphi investigators misplaced Richard's witness statement immediately after he met with DNR Officer Doolin February 14th, 2017. Doolin didn't report Richard to anyone except online in the Orion system. I think some folks are not giving Richard Allen enough credit. These guys are like Jedi masters. Not when it comes to integrity or anything, but when it comes to mind games, right? I was not the killer. Yes, I was at the bridge, but I was not with the girls. Doolin's like, you were not with the girls. You are only interested in the 3 young women, the 3 young girls. Yes, who were the 3 young girls? It's a Jedi mind trick. Hiding in plain sight, right? Not little old Richard. How many times have you guys said that? Every comment I get is, how did he couldn't do it. How did he do it? It can't be him. That's by design. He's had 7 years. He's probably been all up in the social media, online on the Facebook groups and everything. Guarantee it. He probably even had like, shit, for all we knew, he had some kind of phone at the bridge, right? He would go underneath the south end of the bridge with his little burner phone, take it out of the bag or whatever. And he's just like all alone, trying to lure girls to the bridge. And then when he's done, he leaves the phone there. There's got to be something separate from his family. That's just how I feel. Okay, I think we're going to move over to maybe this cult leader. We didn't touch on this. I don't have a whole lot on it, but it's just interesting. Check this out.
Trial in DeKalb County today.
Oh, hold on. I'm going to have to reset this. There we go. Little technical difficulties. Now, this apparently is a sex cult.
Out of the alleged cult leader rape trial in DeKalb County today, we heard testimony from former followers and a police recording from the defendant himself. Channel 2's Audrey Washington's live outside DeKalb County Superior Court. And Audrey, the alleged leader denies the allegations against him.
Decatur.
Right, and he told investigators in a police recording that he's, quote, a ladies' man and that the allegations are false. But an ex-follower who took the stand here inside court earlier today told a much different story.
We couldn't use the bathroom. We had to use the bathroom a certain way.
Former members of the alleged DeKalb County cult Carbon Nation took the stand on Monday.
Carbon
They
Nation.
agreed not to show the faces of those members who are considered victims in the case, but they described how they believe they were sexually, mentally, and emotionally controlled by alleged cult leader Eligio Bishop.
You know what I'm going to do today? I'm going to start a cult. Like, how does that happen? How do you become a cult leader?
Bishop, otherwise known as Nature Boy.
Women couldn't wear shirts at one point in time, so we started putting leaves on our nipples. Every woman had to have sex with Nature Boy, or
Nature
have
Boy,
some
Ric
type
Flair.
of sexual fantasy with him. And a lot of times when that would happen, it would be forced.
Got
Bishop
Ric
is
Flair.
accused of raping a former member and sharing sexually explicit content on social media. But inside court, the judge allowed a police recording of Bishop speaking with investigators after his 2022 arrest. In that recording, the 40-year-old denied all the allegations leveled against him.
Thanks, Diamond.
I'm a ladies' man.
Don't be a
I got
scrub.
like 5, 6 women. I'm a regular girl for. They come to me. Why would anybody accuse you of that? Because they be mad at me.
Last week, current followers of Bishop showed their support.
A man is being locked up for something that did not happen, and it's unfair.
But one of the ex-followers maintained on the stand that all of the women in the group were sexually exploited.
Every woman had to have sex with Nature Boy, or have some type of sexual fantasy with him.
Now, trial is expected to resume tomorrow morning. We are still working to learn if Bishop himself will take the stand in his own defense. Right now.
Isn't that crazy? Brad Lucas says, did you ever circle back on the Allison Jones lady? I know we had discussed it in the comments a few back. Yeah. We did in a members, but I mean, we could pull it up real quick.
County, a 7-year-old boy shot to death in his bedroom, and tonight his...
Okay, let me give you a little bit of context. Now, Allison Jones is somebody who was participating in the Delphi Facebook groups and calling into podcasts and YouTube channels and talking about the Delphi murders. Well, she actually attempted to kill her husband and successfully killed her child because she thought her husband was the Delphi bridge guy.
A 7-year-old boy shot to death in his bedroom, and
Oh, sorry, guys. Let me go to these super chats real quick. Tom, has it gone to trial, Athena? I'm not sure. I think that it has. It might be going through trial right now. 11-month flex. Thank you, Cindy. Appreciate you. Marbles with the 6-month flex. Probably a lot more on and off. And a super chat. Keep up the great content, Sleuth. Thank you. Appreciate you guys.
County, a 7-year-old boy shot to death in his bedroom. And tonight, his mother is in jail, charged with murder. Investigators say it was the woman's husband, the boy's father, who called 911 early this morning. John Chiric is on that story for us tonight.
Investigators continued to work inside this home into the night, gathering evidence where a 7-year-old boy was shot to death by, they say, his own mother.
He was in a bedroom in the house.
His bedroom?
Yes, sir.
Chief Deputy Keith Howard with the Morgan County Sheriff's Office says investigators have charged 36-year-old Allison Jones with killing her 7-year-old son, Maddox, and they're also charging her with shooting at her husband, Maddox's father, Douglas Jones. Firing several rounds from a handgun, Doug Jones called 911 at about 7 a.m.
Well, he was called to report that his son had been shot.
Howard says deputies arrested Allison Jones at the home without incident, interviewed both parents to try to figure out what led up to the shooting.
We had no prior calls to service here that we could tell domestic related, but the information we were provided right now between the husband and the wife, that's what we're vetting through to see if the crime scene matches their statements.
It's a total shock.
Liz Marchant is the president of the Riverwalk at Appalachia Homeowners Association. Each home in this subdivision, about 70 miles east of Atlanta, sits on more than 5 acres. Morgan County records show Doug Jones bought the home in 2015. Nice neighbors, Marchant says.
We are all just devastated for this
Crazy.
family, and it's truly just heartbreaking.
The GBI will conduct an autopsy and ballistics tests. The mother remains in the Morgan County Detention Center. Investigators are asking anyone with any information that can help to call them.
County is 7
Crazy.
A mother charged with shooting her 7-year-old son to death on March 1, 2021, pleaded guilty but mentally ill in Morgan County Superior Court on Wednesday, January 3. Allison Gail Jones, 39, was sentenced to life with the possibility of parole by Superior Court Judge Stephen Bradley. According to District Attorney Wright Barksdale, Jones would be eligible for parole when she's 70 years old, but Barksdale told Judge Bradley, "Our hope is she never gets out of prison." Jones pleaded guilty but mentally ill to 1 count of felony murder. Jones was arrested early in the morning of March 1, 2021, at the Riverwalk subdivision residence she shared with her husband Douglas Jones and the couple's 7-year-old son, Maddox, soon after Douglas Jones had called Morgan County Dispatch to report the killing. When Morgan County Sheriff's Office deputies began to arrive at the Riverwalk Road residence, Douglas Jones allegedly told investigators to arrest her. She did it. Maddox Jones, reports state, was shot while in his bed. Allison Jones then turned the gun on her husband, but he was able to disarm her and call police. She was initially charged with murder, felony murder, and aggravated assault. At Wednesday's hearing, District Attorney Barksdale told the court that Allison Jones had twice been diagnosed with mental illness, once by a state-provided doctor and again by a private doctor. Both mental health evaluations, he said, showed a history of mental health issues beginning when Allison Jones was 15 years old. At 17 years old, Barksdale told the court, Allison Jones attempted suicide and made a second attempt when she was 22 years old. He said she has been diagnosed with delusional disorder, major depressive disorder, and generally anxiety disorder. She also has a history of opioid abuse, Barksdale said. Allison Jones's Watkinsville-based defense attorney, Morris H. Wiltshire
Maddox.
Jr., told Judge Bradley that
Rest in
Allison
peace.
Jones's mental capacity at the time contributed to a murder that, he said, could not be explained. At the period of time when this horrible incident occurred, our belief is she was delusional beyond being able to function, he said. Allison Jones, dressed in yellow prison garb and wearing both handcuffs and leg shackles, stood before Judge Bradley, occasionally wiping tears from her chin. She kept both handcuffed hands clasped under her chin during the majority of the hearing. Barksdale said the child's murder, an incident that prompted Morgan County Primary School to hold a special memorial service on April 23, 2021, the day Maddox, a first grader at the school, would have turned 8 years old, was a horrible, horrible tragedy that impacted this community in a way that cannot be measured. Allison Jones told Judge Bradley that she wanted the community and her family to know how terribly sorry I am. I loved Maddox more than anything on this earth, she said. I'm truly sorry for what happened. Asked twice, Douglas Jones declined to address the court. During sentencing, Judge Bradley said he would accept the state's recommendation and said,
Yep, 100%,
based on the known
Richard.
mental difficulties, the tragedy could have been avoided. I cannot imagine a more tragic circumstance than this, Judge Bradley told Allison Jones. He said he hoped the resolution to the murder serves as an emblem to people who are mentally ill but don't want to acknowledge that there is help out there.
Yeah, what a strange case that one is. I hope, Richard, I hope. What was her name on YouTube? Let me see if I have that information. Somebody might know. Nope, I don't have it in my notes. I had it written down somewhere. Somebody might know in the chat. Thank you, Maria. That was awesome of you. Amelia, thank you so much. Thank you guys for supporting my channel today. Tom, Cindy, Marbles, Cindy again, Metal, and Maria and Amelia. Thank you guys. Okay, let's go to San Antonio PD. Now, this is something I posted earlier today, the CCTV footage. They got 1 in custody and 2 on the run.
Right now.
Days after a robbery turned deadly, San Antonio police say they've arrested one man they say was involved. This is Kia Dodson. The 21-year-old is facing a capital murder charge in connection to a deadly shooting behind a Northwest Side warehouse earlier this week. We showed you that surveillance video earlier today. You can see the victim, 25-year-old Cesar Garcia, walk out of that warehouse. Dodson and the other suspect approach him. Garcia went up a flight of stairs, and that's when police say Dodson and the other suspect tried to rob him. Garcia tried to fight back and was shot several times. That video also showed this black Hyundai Sonata that police say was the getaway car. If you have any information on that or the suspect, please call the SAPD Homicide Unit, that number on your screen and on our website, ksat.com.
Yeah. I mean, I think this guy was selling something. I think it was switches for Glocks. You put them on there and it turns it into an automatic weapon. I think he was trying to sell them a whole bag of that. And they were going to rob him, and they didn't expect him to fight back. Here's the CCTV footage. What's going on, Colette? 100%, Jamie. You know what? I haven't seen her in a long time, but she kind of would show up randomly. What a nightmare. Now, this guy's at work, so he was set up by somebody he knows for whatever reason. Law enforcement says he was robbed, and I think that's what you can see on the ground here, are some of those items. There's the vehicle in question. Another nightmare scenario. Turn your back on slithering vipers and you get bit. Okay, because we are running out of time. I think we'll touch a little bit on Daniel Macias because I think we're going to cover that for True Crime in the Morning next Monday. We'll save that for last. Let's check out Charles Dewey. I'm going to talk about a scumbag. Here, let's pull up this article first. Look at this dude. It's by Matt Getz. You can reach Matt at mgetz@kpcmedia.com. Titled Fort Wayne Man Facing Sexual Misconduct Charge. It's for the News Sun. Albion. It started with a family gathering. Then it moved to Instagram. Now, a 23-year-old from Fort Wayne has been charged with committing sexual misconduct with an underage Kendallville girl, according to court documents. Charles L. Dewey III, 23, of the 900 block of West Hamilton Road South, Fort Wayne, was arrested at 8:16 a.m. Monday by Noble County Police on a warrant charging sexual misconduct with a minor, a level 4 felony. Look at this fucking guy. What's going on with his hair? Jeez. Dewey was held on $10,000 bond. According to the probable cause affidavit, Dewey met with his alleged victim, a girl under the age of 16, at a family gathering as a guest of another member in the spring of last year. Remember, that was our one of our Delphi theories. You know, we thought maybe somebody brought the wolf into the hen house. A friend of a friend. Don't worry, he's cool. He's with me. You know, kind of like the mafia. Don't worry, I vouch for him. It's an undercover FBI agent. In this case, it just happened to be a predator. From there, the victim told police they began to communicate on Instagram. During the course of their communications on the social media site, the victim told police she told Dewey how old she was. According to the victim, intercourse allegedly occurred around midnight at an unspecified date in Dewey's car, which was parked in the victim's driveway according to court records. Now, I think something like this, similar to this, happened in the Madeline Soto case. And I think her 13th birthday was the trigger in how he was grooming her, and that's what he was building up to, was that date. That's why she was murdered the next day. The mother of the alleged victim contacted police on August 18th, 2019. The mother was able to provide Instagram posts which allegedly indicated Dewey and the victim had intercourse. Kendallville Police Department Detective Angela Hanshoe was able to photograph the messages which had been provided by the mother. Dewey declined to be interviewed by Kendallville Police. Now, I think I have some videos on this. Let's take a look at some of these photos I grabbed. This dude's a freaking weirdo. Looks like were able to beat the shit out of him or slammed him on his face, maybe. Looking like a young Richard Allen. He must be into the band Cure. The Cure. How do I pause this? Oh, here we go.
Are you?
This is what his hair reminds me of. Let me see if I can slide this over. It's a good song. Stephanie, he needs to wash his hair. Yeah, what the hell's going on? Or is that like a Bill Murray comb over? Remember when he was on Zombieland? Or no, Kingpin. He's like, I'll just let it grow out in the back and just comb it forward. This one's when he was young. I grabbed this off of his Twitter account. Flock of seagulls, yeah. That dude is an incel. If there ever was one, he probably couldn't believe that a 14-year-old girl would even talk to him. Yeah, incel vibes. Seem to feed into what Anna was talking about, the anger and the hatred that seems to fuel these acts.
Including sexual misconduct with minors. Including sexual misconduct with minors. He was arrested by U.S. Marshals in the U.S. territory of Saipan on January 26th.
Yep.
But that wasn't even his identity for the time he was living there. Carter Widmore was the alias he used, and he was able to obtain a Northern Mariana Islands driver's license under that name.
Worse
Dewey
than me.
then created a new life for himself, emailing local newspapers, lying about having an Amish background, which led him to issues getting a social security number. A reporter from Saipan informed me his knowledge is limited of Amish culture, so they believed Dewey's lies and published a
CJ?
story about this fabricated life.
Honestly, I feel like gullible a little bit. We bought his story and we published
This guy reminds me of Slow
his
Joe.
lie. So I would have to admit that, I made that mistake back then.
Dewey proceeded to contact the news publication in December, asking them to take down the stories that were written about this Carter Widmore. In Indiana, Dewey is facing currently 27
Good band,
felony
Maria.
charges, including 12 counts of sexual misconduct with minors. He is scheduled to appear in Superior Court in the Northern Mariana Islands on February
What's up,
14th
Jesse?
and will be extradited to the United States at a later date.
I might have one more clip on this dude. Might be the perp walk. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, maybe both. Maybe Flock Seagulls is closer. All right, that is it for all of our time. I think I was going to talk with you guys a little bit about the Lawrence Spear case because I think we're going to do a part 2 on that at some time next, probably sometime next week. And then also Daniel Mesas. Let's take a look here. We'll be covering this case here
On
on
August
Monday.
the 13th at approximately 2:37 a.m., Daniel Mesas was murdered in Athens, Georgia, at the corner of East Hancock Avenue and Jackson
Another
Street.
Athens, Georgia.
Athens Clark County Police Department investigators are reviewing hundreds of hours of security camera video footage that they have collected in the course of their investigation. Investigators would like to speak with the individual that is depicted in this snippet of video footage. He appears to be a white male dressed in all
This guy.
black. This person may have
Seems like he has really broad shoulders, maybe very athletic build.
witnessed details that are important to investigators. If you are this individual, or if you can help identify this individual,
Sparky, yeah, I wasn't playing the song. I didn't want to get hit with a copyright.
please contact Sergeant Martin
Flock
Lee
of dipshits.
at 706-613-3888.
That's a good one, Richard.
Extension.
He's the lead singer of the Flock of Dipshits. I'll allow it.
After someone shot and killed a former UGA student in downtown Athens. The 28-year-old was walking to his car last month. As Channel 2's Matt Johnson reports, his family is taking their own action to find his killer.
The family and friends made a memorial for Daniel Mesas right here at the place where he was shot and killed. It happened right next to a county courthouse, but unfortunately the cameras that would have caught it were not pointing at the scene, so a killer is still out there. The family and friends of Daniel Mesas aren't waiting around to find out who killed a 28-year-old in downtown Athens.
Eventually, we will have justice for him.
With Justice for Daniel bracelets and dozens of flyers, they walked the area near where the former UGA student was shot and killed last month.
This should have never happened to him.
Erica Mesas says she has missed her brother since the morning someone shot him while he walked to his car at East Hancock Avenue in North Jackson Street.
He was friends with everyone. There wasn't anyone he met that
This kind of gave me a little bit of Lauren Spear vibes. Completely different MO, but, you know, college town, partying, walking from bar to bar, kind of the trouble that you can run into when people are under the influence, maybe having a bad night, and you run into these folks, you know, with nobody around, 2 a.m.
that could say anything bad about him.
Athens Clark County Police released surveillance video of a person of interest seen minutes before they believe Mesas was killed, but they've made no arrests. Police say the killer shot Mesas multiple times August 13th at around 2:30 in the morning. Loved ones created
2:30 in the morning, right when the bars are ending. Maybe he bumped into him at the bar. A guy followed him out to his car and killed him.
a memorial for him at the place where he was killed as a way to get more people involved.
It's kind of a way to like bring attention to it, but also just kind of like celebrate
CJ.
his memory and his presence.
Let us know if you hear anything.
The family says they won't stop looking for answers to help police solve the first murder in downtown Athens in 13 years.
It hurts a lot that nobody's been caught yet, especially since it was right here in the middle of everything.
A total reward of $11,000 is being offered for anyone with information that leads to an arrest. In Athens, Matt Johnson, Channel 2 Action News.
Cindy says, Sleuth, I'm having a hard time with membership by way of my phone. Not quite sure what would cause that. I'm showing that your membership icon is showing clearly. Maybe reset it, restart it. All right, I'll show you guys. We're pretty much out of time here, but I did want to show you my progress on my new Sleuth Crew check-in intro. It's coming along slowly but surely. This will be one of the opening scenes. So it's going to go all over the place. I don't have it all fully. But that's what I have. That's my progress. Probably 10% done. So shout out to everybody who was able to catch the live stream. Thank you guys. Everybody who donated. Tom. Cindy. Marbles. Cindy. Metal hooking it up. So you may be a member. Maria. Somebody may have been gifted a membership by Maria Torres or Metal Mama. Thank you guys. And Amelia. So you guys have a safe night. Safe rest of your night. I appreciate all of you. Thank you for watching the Sleuth Intuition channel. If you are part of the replay crew, you know what to do. Drop a comment and let me know what you think. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell icon to stay in the loop. Sleuth Intuition is 100% crowdfunded. If you want to support me and help my channel grow, here are 3 ways that you can help. Number 1, Cash App. The funds go directly to me without YouTube taking a percentage. Number 2, become a member. Members are by far the leading contributors to my channel. Number 3, hit up the merch shop. Represent the Sleuth crew on these ruthless streets. I want to thank everybody for tuning in to the Sleuth Intuition channel. I'm your host, Patrick Vallejos. Until next time, peace.